Hello and welcome. This is Julie Silver Stitches here on Flosstube and on Instagram. Today is Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, and I'm here for my weekly update, cross-stitch update. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for subscribing. This week, actually yesterday, I realized that this happened. I don't know where I'm going to post it yet, but that's very exciting. Thank you so much. My channel is 7 years old and it's been growing very slowly for so long. So, I'm not here for the numbers. I'm just here that 300, I'm just happy that 300 people over 7 years have wanted to hear what I have to say. It's not, 500 or 1,000 or 2.3 or whatever, doesn't matter. It just matters that thank you for being here. I feel very low. Meaning my camera is very high. I don't know, whatever. We have lots of airspace today. Okay, so past that, thank you so much for the 300. I saw that yesterday and I was like, I messaged one of my friends and said, hey, this is so, what? Anyways, thank you. Okay, so next thing, I have notes. Next thing I want to talk about is a shout out. I know I don't do this very often, but Life with Natty. She's been around now filming probably for about a year. For sure, I know that she had one Flosstube and then she took about a year off, and now she's come back with 5 or 6 more videos, so go check her out. She is into all the things. I'm going to be posting a little blurb throughout all of my pieces because I was watching her videos and I feel like even if you miss it, you can read it at the same time. So the project, what the fabric is, who the designer was, what I'm using, 2/1, 1/1, half stitch, all of that stuff, just so that, you can see it visually and hear me audibly. Thank you so much for that great idea, even though you don't know that you gave it to me. And there has been a few other Flosstubers that have gotten onto that, post all the information on the bottom while talking about the project. So thank you so much, and I hope that you will enjoy the rest of the video. I have worked on, I was going to pause, but not yet. I've worked on 4 different projects, but there's big progress on 3 of the projects. And one kind of not so big because you'll find out. Okay, so stay tuned for ringing the bell. Hold on, please. So, ringing the bell today was, actually rang the bell a few days ago, technically, but this is a small finish, but a finish nonetheless. It was just under 2,000 stitches, thanks to Lone, a random stitcher, here on Instagram. She does have Flosstubes, but she's taking a break. She also has a Facebook group. So a random stitcher had designed this piece as a hidden disability sunflower. I had done it on 14 count, all of my own colors, because at the time when I started, none of the colors that she called for I had. So that didn't pan out well for the actual what it's supposed to look like situation, but I think it's fantastic. So this is on a 14 count 2/1 cream-ish Aida, 1936 stitches in total, and it is DMC. So this this piece symbolizes a lot to me. James has two very hidden illnesses. Some days are more prevalent and you can see them more days than others, but overall, if you look at him on the street, just walking by, you can't figure out that he has two death-defying illnesses. He has lived for almost, in April, I know it's only November, but in April it'll be 13 years that he has survived with the two autoimmune illnesses that he has. One is scleroderma. James is my husband, if you don't know. One is scleroderma, which affects the outside of the skin, and the other is eosinophilic fasciitis. Right. So what that is it is the white blood cells, the ones that are supposed to protect you, they are essentially attacking the red blood cells in his body. So the red blood cells that are supposed to help rejuvenate you and keep you alive and all of those things, the white blood cells are trying to say, no, 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 you can't be here. So eventually, James will be, his forearms right now for sure are very hard. Like touch the table hard, and so we go for, a whole lot of different medical appointments per month. We also, he is the superstar of this whole thing. He goes for an intravenous treatment twice a week, 2 days, every 4 weeks at the hospital that's 60 something kilometers away from us. So life has changed over time, for him and for myself. And so now we're more focused on his health, more focused on how to be. So when Lauren came out with this design, it really hit a chord. I also, myself, I was born with a central nervous system disorder. So when I was born, I could have had a whole lot of different things wrong with me. So I could have been mute. I didn't start speaking until I was 5. I could have hearing loss, which I'm pretty sure has started, but I'm ignoring it. Vision as well, deformities of my limbs. I could have been paralyzed, the whole 9 yards. Hair growing in different places on my body. It, at the time, was called incontinence. I will put it down here, just like I will put down what James has on the screen. Incontinentia pigmenti. It's essentially, I was born with only one X chromosome instead of born with 2. It's primarily a female disease that affects females, because when the genetics of everything is happening while in the womb, or whatever, boys are born with an X and a Y, and so if there's a corrupted X chromosome, I still have 2 chromosomes, like 2 X chromosomes, but one of them is corrupted, so it doesn't fully work to the way it's supposed to. I'm not a geneticist, or a scientific person at all. So, anyway, so when Lauren came out with this, I called her 3 different words. I'm just going to call her a random stitcher. Came out with this design. It really meant a lot because I, too, in theory, have a hidden disability that nobody can see, kind of. Anyways, that is enough talking about my finish for the week. Hooray! So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was 7 different colors and 1936 stitches. I took a lot longer than I should have to be able to finish the piece. I put it away, took a break, went to put it, stitched on it through treatment because it's a good sized count. Decided to not do it, decided to do it, and then I realized that there were only 535 stitches by the time this was supposed to be done. So I just said, why not? So since the last time that you had seen it, I had put in 535 stitches to complete it to 100%. Early on, this green border, so I stitched it from outside to inside. So the green border I stitched first, the green outside, and it was not counted properly. I'm missing a row somewhere, or I added a row somewhere, or something happened. I don't know. I don't know at this point, but all of the then other colors that had to go in had to be altered a little bit, so I think I had to put in 535. That's what Pattern Keeper says, but it definitely was less and or more. I can't tell you that either. So, but it's done. Sunflowers are all different in the world, so hooray, it's done. So that is one off my whip list. So that is great. I will talk about plans at the end, but here we go. Let's keep going. Okay, welcome to the whips category. Here is where I will show you 3 more whips, because 3 more projects, works in progress, because that's all I worked on this week. This week was full of appointments, full of sleeping, I'm going to say, because sleeping in appointments. So sitting in the hospital for 12 hours during James's treatment, and just downtime, just resting. So there were times when I would be able to sit and stitch, and then there were times that I'm just exhausted because sitting in the hospital, not even just getting the treatment, I don't even understand how James does it, but just sitting in the hospital waiting, seeing what he goes through, is exhausting. Like, it's a mental exhaustion that is like no other, I find. So I took one project to treatment for both days. This is how I was able to get the number that I did in it was able to be completed, because otherwise it wasn't going to happen. So I was really missing working on Watching the World Go By Lucy Pittaway. This is a Heaven and Earth design. It is now retired. You can get it on Bothy Threads, though, as a kit. And last time I checked, at least. And so I put in, oh, I didn't get the percentage, but I'll put it down here when I'm editing. I put in 1,361 stitches over the last week. And this is where we're at. So, as you can see, it's all in the bottom half, of course, but, so what I did was, the first thing I did was finished off that corner. So I finished off the corner over here. I was able to get in all of the greens and block off that corner. So that's what I did first. I went all the way across, filling in, because these are all like 2 or 3 different colors in this little section. And then what I had done was worked up, and then I finally just ended up closing the gap by working down. That was a big chunk. And then the next thing that I focused on, as you can probably see, because I probably don't have a before picture, but as you can probably see, I did work on a lot, mostly all of that, well, mostly all of the water. The water I love blue, so it wasn't a difficult stitch at all. It was just finding the colors in the already colors that I've already kitted it up. I have, oh, and the exciting thing. I'm going to put it down here because I don't actually know how many I have now that are finished of colors, but I definitely finished like 20 colors in this little block alone. But besides that, it's very exciting, by the way. I'm very excited to have this at where it is. I'm also going to put the percentage down here because I don't really know that either, and it's all on my phone. So me and my tablet skills, I'll talk about it at the end, but it's definitely gone through a whole lot of changes. So meaning what's on my tablet versus, okay, so as you can see, when I was starting this, I was kind of just up here with all of the blues. I didn't really, I'm just going to move forward. Okay, so I didn't really have much there to begin with for the blues. I know I had I know I had the bridge. All the bridge was done. All here was done. But I essentially added, minus the tree, all of this. And so I'm starting to fill in some of the green also on the next shoreline. Is that what you can call it? Next bank. And so there's a few more trees. I've added a few more stitches to the, the greenery over here because I found the green. I also, so it's 1,000, what did I say? 1,361 essentially that I put into this piece since you've last seen it. My goal, if I stick to it, I think is like putting in 220 stitches a day if I want to finish it by the end of the year. I would love that because this was a new year, new start at one point. 2021, 2022. I'll put it down here. I don't really know. I'll have to go back in my records and see when I actually started this. But this is my first full coverage that I have, as you can see, have brought this far. This was my first start as a full coverage. When it is going to be done, I'm going to be so sad. So there are less than 9,000 stitches left on this to go. I might work from the top down the next time I work on this just to try and I want to try and see if I can finish the sheep last because those are the focal piece of the whole piece. So the sheep end up going in here somewhere. So if I can work top down and around and down and then put the sheep in last, I think, whoops, hi Skitters. I think that would be the best. Not the best, but I think that would be the greatest. This is my little Skitters. He's not so little. If you're new, he's my giant. So there we go. He's a Bombay, I think. He's definitely a big little boy. Okay, with the longest claws because when I was, let go. There you go. You want to go up? Up. Thank you. Okay, so when we got him, he is Skitters. When we got him, he was already 10 months old. He was already in an abusive household. So that young kitten quality snuggle time that I got with Charlotte and Simon was not there. So I can't cut his nails. Not that I can't do it. I've done it once in like 4 years. So anyway, and you can't see her, but Charlotte the Beautiful is just sitting right here. Like, I might bring her over because she's a diva princess. Anyways, back to stitching. So yes, so I plan on stitching everything around the sheep, and then it's the lightest colors, but that's okay. It's going to be done. That's what's going to drive me to finish this, I think, to just get it done. So stay tuned on whether I decide to make this a focus piece until the end of the year, or if I just decide to just carry it on through however long it takes me through all of the games. We'll see. I do plan, again, I'll talk about plans after. Okay, so something else that I picked up, and I'm trying, because I want it out of my rotation, because it's so small that I just feel like it should be done, right? So what I'm talking about is this little guy here. This little snowman has taken me so long that I don't want to carry him anymore. I don't want to UFO him, but I don't want him in my whip my whip list anymore. So I've decided that I'm going to do 100 stitches per day, do a daily 100 on this guy until he's done, because he is also on a 14 count white Aida. I am parking my threads because I wasn't willing to give up these colors because look, they're so long. So here I am. I can't tell you how many stitches I've already put him into them, but if you want to do the mental math and count the rows and count all the things, all I know is that I put in 100 stitches yesterday. So what I did end up finishing though is the page 1. This guy is broken up into 2 pages. Page 1 is finished. So I have finished filling in all of his hat. And yeah, so even though it's going to be a lot of white on white, because, you know, me and white on white, but that's what it's going to look like in the end. He's super cute. I am leaving out the mittens because that was part of another part of the pattern. But this is Winter Sampler by Maria Diaz. All I can tell you is that it's out of the World of Cross Stitch magazine. The World of Cross Stitching. Good grief. Anyway, I can't tell you what number it was. I can probably find it in my stacks over here, but I might even just put it down here if I find it. But that's the guy I'm stitching out of this whole sampler, because at the time when I started, this sampler was very big for me. So I was thinking, oh, no way, man. No way. No way can I do that. Plus, I think this was one of my 12 for 12 starts a couple of years ago. It just needs to be done. So, I've been pulling colors, or the closest color that I have, and hopefully I'll remember what the closest color it is because I didn't write it down. So, yes, this is Maria Diaz. She also has a Halloween one that I've seen, that I started the Boo Owl. I don't know where that went. It's somewhere, but not here. Anyways, that is that. And the last thing that I worked on, sorry, Flosstube itchy nose, hold up. Blah. Okay, so the last thing I worked on came out of this magazine. This is the 2024 Christmas, Cross Stitch Christmas. Good grief. And this is for a friend, so that's all I know. And so we are planning on going to see that friend just after Christmas, so I have to get it done. So this is The North Wind by Witch's Garden Crafts. The girl who designed it, person who designed it was Michelle Young. So I saw, when I was flipping through this magazine originally, this was one of the ones that I really wanted to stitch, so I'm stitching it. This friend definitely wants a series of houses, Christmas houses, all around her place when she finally grows up and decorates, kind of thing. But I figured this was a good start, because I can't purchase porcelain. Not porcelain, of course, but like even, you know how you have like the Christmas villages and all of that stuff. I felt like this was a good start. At least there's a row of houses. Yeah, so that's the plan. I am doing this on a 14 count piece of dark green Aida instead of the blue that it's supposed to be on, but that's okay. And if I could just figure out, because I feel like it's going to be see-through. All right, so are you ready? Are you ready for the progress? Because we were drywalling the drywall story. So someone that we cut a lawn for in the summers, said, hey, my basement completely needs, like, the bottom 2 feet got ripped out because because there was a flood, essentially. There was leaking. I was trying to figure out where it came from. I ripped it all out, and no, I can't, somebody's got to fix it. So James took on the big project, started last weekend, and he got a little bit done, and then him and his dad yesterday went there. Well, I went too, but him and his dad yesterday went there and probably got about 95% of the drywalling and taping and mudding. I'm not a drywaller. Mudding done, like the, whatever it's called. Anyway, so I was upstairs, away from all of the noise, and in this very nice lady's house, and I was stitching this. So I ended up putting in, I'm not counting stitches because I tried to count stitches and it just slowed me down. So what I ended up doing was finishing all of the words on this half of the side, so that's good. And then I also started in on that greenhouse that you see there. So these two were already done. Essentially, this was done before yesterday, and then this was done all of yesterday. Almost. Anyway, so these are the called for, except for one color. These are the called for colors. Just not the called for fabric, because at the time I didn't have blue fabric. I know I wanted to start it, and that's how that goes. So my plan is to work on this every day again, to complete it, because the magical thing, I left my phone, so they were working in the basement. I left my phone in the basement. I was invited upstairs to have hibiscus juice. I've never had hibiscus juice, but it was very good. The daughter, made it homemade. She just boiled down the hibiscus flower, and it came out with this. It wasn't sweet at all. It was on the, neutral bitter side, but very, very good. Apparently, so this family is very holistic, very natural products. Apparently, if you are having a hard time with cramps, apparently, I'm not anymore, thank goodness. But it helps with cramps. That's all I know. I'm sure it helps with a whole lot of other things too, but this is what the daughter told me. So anyway, this whole episode is full of fun facts that you maybe never knew before. All right, so this is the plan until it's finished, because as far as I know, we're having Christmas at my sister's and my mom's, and then the next day, I think, for a few days, we're going to my friend's place, and gifts are not required, of course, but, it's always nice to bring something. So, especially, she's been moving around a lot, and so I think finally she has figured out a good space to be at. So I think that's what's happening. So it's maybe like a little bit of a housewarming gift or a, seasonal thing, but she is all about Christmas. So I figured this isn't necessarily Christmas. This is really winter, but it was the row of houses. That's what got to me. Was that the last thing? Oh no, was that the last thing? I think so. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that was the last thing that I worked on. So that was the whips portion of my video. Stay tuned for what's next, because even Julie doesn't know, so hold on. Hello, and okay, so we're back. Plans. Oh, before plans, let's go on to mini purchases. Not necessarily my purchase, because I was gifted it. thank you so much again. So I am going to be joining the 2026 Haid Sal. This is what it's going to look like. I am doing the Wise and the Brave. Part of me wants to do all of it, or the 6 pages, or whatever makes you be able to get the other 11 charts, because I think secretly in my mind I wanted the cottage, but that's a lot of I didn't look at them closely, but other stitchers are saying that's a whole lot of confetti. But who knows with this piece as well, because those leaves. So I think once you get into the owl and the bird, it's going to be a lot less confetti, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see. So I'm going to probably stick to 100 stitches a day. See how far it gets me, see what's going on. I am trying to do the 100 stitches a day with this to try and get me prepped. I feel like this is going to last me until the end of the year. And if not, I can find other smalls that are definitely not calling me into 2026 and try and knock them out of the park. Just so they're off my whip rotation and I don't have to think about them anymore. I want to keep all of them, but I don't want to work on some of them long term. So if I can try and, get them out of the way, or I love them, but I don't necessarily want to hold on to these whips for another 365 days. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, plans. I'm feeling like the whole concept of plans is so overrated. It's so like, we must do this and this and this and this. So what I'm planning on, I definitely have plans, but they're very 1 month, 1 week at a time. So, I might do a whole nother new plans video, but for this week coming up, pretty much stitching on what I just showed you. Maybe throwing in a few others that, pique my interest throughout the week. I'm going, even though this is going to be 100 a day, I'm going to strive to try and finish him. I don't know how many more hundreds there are left, because this outline is the outline of him. So this whole thing. So how many more hundreds? Who knows? But let's see if I can do it. I haven't stitched yet today. I have only filmed and gotten up and had the coffees and did all the things, but no stitching yet. So when I'm editing and uploading that, I'm probably going to be working on this, because why not? It's paper. What I was trying to get in my last segment that I didn't tell you about with this. My phone was downstairs. My stitching and Julie were upstairs. I got so much done. So much done. The daughter, came down and checked on me, every so often, because, whatever. And, wow, you got so much done. I'm like, really? I don't really... Maybe, I guess, and then a phone call came in that I had to take, I guess, but I didn't have to take, and so I ran downstairs, got my phone, brought it back upstairs, and the amount of stitching that I got done, not, by myself, aka I had my phone, was exponentially less. It was, oh, well, I wonder what this person thinks. Oh, I wonder what the brain started going, and I couldn't stop it trying to attach myself to my phone. So I think during these paper patterns, I think that's why I'm so slow, because I need a distraction. So if that distraction's not there, then who knows? Anything is possible. So maybe I'll flip back to paper patterns this week, minus this, because I feel like this is going to have, I think it's probably like 220 stitches a day now, because I've missed the last couple days because I was on the fence about what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to carry it into 2026 or not. But Oh, hi, Skitters. But we'll see how that goes. But let's round off the plans for this week because I've been mumbling and rambling and all of those things. So this is a definite. I might find another small to try and finish off just so that, we can have a bunch of finishes every week. Not a bunch of finishes every week, but leading up to the end of the year, maybe a bunch of finishes. Who knows? Because in this bin beside me and in that box over there, there are many things that I just have to finish. There's just less than 1,000 stitches left to go, or there's just this section that I haven't done yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not 100% sure. But this week is full of work and medical appointments again, so we'll see what happens. Past that, I hope everybody has a great day. A happy stitching week. I hope you get everything that you wanted out of the upcoming week, and I will see you next Sunday. Oh, Santa Claus Parade is this weekend coming up, so the Saturday, in my town. Santa Claus Parade. So Saturday night-ish, 5 o'clock, 5 to 7, 5 to 6, somewhere in there. I will be freezing because it's snowing, so I will be freezing standing outside my door because the parade goes past my building that I live in, so maybe if it's too cold out, I will just watch from my window. It's a whole different experience because you don't have the crowd and you don't have the actual sound of the things and whatever, but you can still see it, so we might just do that depending on the weather. But I would really like to be outside. I really like the atmosphere around. It really brings the Christmas spirit into my little town. And anything else? The Christmas market, I don't know if it was a market, it was something. Anyway, happened yesterday night. Like, it was a night market. So a whole lot of vendors from around the area where I live came in and tried to sell their products. So I didn't go to it because we had just gotten back from drywalling. So either way, one of my friends did, and so I'm hoping that it was a good experience. But otherwise, that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. I just live west of Ottawa, the capital of Canada, so lots of things are always happening in my little town, but definitely they embrace the Christmas spirit in my little town. So if you heard that, my tub, because Skitters likes to play in water, so we keep the tub like this much of water, and he does this in the tub and he drinks from the tub, and so that was his safe space to be able to play in water without having it all over the floor. We've had to do this for a long time, and yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I've already tried to wrap this up a couple times, I think, and until next week, I hope everybody has a great week, and stay warm, stay cool, stay whatever you need to be, and I will see everybody later. Bye, everybody. Sparkle and shine.